There are two divisions that feel very murky at the top. The top three teams, it feels like, right now, the Bears are not just number one in the NFC North, they are number one in the NFC. Again, enough football left to be played. Ben Johnson's out here with his shirt off in the locker room, just getting after it, like hilarious stuff there. But right now, the Bears are atop the NFC North, then the Packers behind them, then the Lions in third. Let's just say, Vikings, we'll put you on the shelf. We'll talk about you at a later time. But let's talk about this NFC North for a minute. What are you seeing from your lens? And then I'll tell you some of the data that I've found on them as well.
It's crazy. It's a crazy division. Like, I was on CBS on a show a few weeks ago, and I said the Bears are a sneaky team. Like, they're a sneaky good team. And Bears fans like, "What are you talking about? We're this, we're that." And they're right. They're the number one team in the NFC, and nobody saw that coming. That is sneaky. I had the Bears sneaking into the playoffs this year because I'm such a believer in great coaching. I'm a believer in Caleb Williams' talent. What I saw coming out of college, you pair him with a good coach like Ben Johnson, and in the NFL, stuff happens quickly. It doesn't take 10 years. It can happen really quickly, like Mike Vrabel and May and different great coaches with really good players. So I thought the Bears were gonna have a heck of a year. I did not see them being number one in this division. I did not see them being number one in the NFC, and it's pretty legit. I mean, they are winning close games. They have a great coach. Their quarterback's playing so much better to his potential, and their defense takes the ball away. Now, are they gonna finish the year number 1 in the NFC? I don't know about that. And are they gonna finish on top of that division? Because Green Bay and Detroit's in that division, and that's gonna be tough to tell. I'd like to hear your take and what your numbers say about it.
Well, there's a couple of things that stand out. The first is a very positive thing, which is the ability for Caleb Williams to not just escape pressure, but be under less pressure. I'm not suggesting that their O line is perfect. There are still areas of concern, namely the tackles. The interior is much better. But Caleb Williams is not having the negative consequences of being under pressure as often. He's not taking as many sacks. He's not getting, these huge negative plays like we saw last season. He was under just so much duress last season, like a historic level of pressures, tons of sacks. We can put that to the side. So part of that is the play design. Part of that is the interior O line, which they addressed in free agency. And part of that is Caleb Williams understanding how to execute smaller gains. What happens if this breaks down? Where do I look? What do I do? How do I get out of this situation without taking a negative play? So that's really good on him, despite a low completion percentage. That is the caveat there. Then the emergence of the run game being very versatile and helpful. So my favorite name to say maybe right now, Kyle Manungai, right? Love his name. He's just very, I don't think ahead of the season, everyone's like, okay, well, we got, there's DeAndre Swift's there, like, okay, but there's some familiarity, but who's going to be what's the 1-2 punch? Because Ben Johnson, we saw that in Detroit, right? Well, the answer is Kyle Manungai has really stepped up in that role. So I'm seeing Colson Loveland take these huge steps forward. The beginning of the season, they were letting him acclimate. Now he is a force. He's a problem. You're going to start having to look out for him even more. So they're growing very well on offense. The problem, the asterisk that I will put there is it's hard to live in the NFL without consistent pressure on defense, consistently getting after quarterbacks, and I'm saying like down in and down out, and then consistently stopping the run. Those are areas that can make it difficult to, even if your offense is playing well, but he still has some negative point and touchdown situations. There's negative, the low completion percentage is tough. So there's weird data points, but not anything. So it's, I guess, something that wouldn't suggest NFC champs, but something that strong playoff contender.
Yeah, like they're finding a way to win close games, right? And in the playoffs, it's all about matchups, and they're all game sevens. You have to win that game, and if your team knows how to win close ones, most likely those playoff games are two good teams. It's gonna be a close game, and having experience down the stretch, understanding how to manage stuff in the fourth quarter, it comes in handy, right? So, will I rather play the Bears in the playoffs than the Lions? Just having to defend Jahmyr Gibbs, having to defend golf and what they do, I would rather play the Bears, honestly. I'm not as afraid or as Caleb he's gotta show me in the playoffs. You gotta show me what you guys can do, right? But they're finding ways to win games, to lock up a good seed, to have to play these games at home, which help in the playoffs. I will say defensively, they're not a highly ranked defense. I was surprised by that, but they do turn the ball over at a high clip, and that matters, those possessions. Kevin Byard leading the league in interceptions, like, 3 of the interception leaders are all on the Bears. So, like, all those guys are getting interceptions, and when you factor in turnovers, that is the quickest way to lose a game. Any coach is gonna say, "We gotta take care of the ball, we gotta turn it over on defense." Like, that's, like, the number 1 goal, along with running the ball, that you hear in meetings as a player. Defensively, it's stop the run, get takeaways. Like, those are on every single week. And if the Bears aren't stopping the run, but they're getting takeaways, that can hide a lot of weaknesses you have on defense because the turnovers are that much more important to winning.
I mean, you can ask the Panthers about that from last week. Matthew Stafford had something to say about, that exact thing right there that can change the cadence of the game. I'm curious your thoughts on now they're getting their secondary healthier for the Bears, right? You get Jalen Johnson back, you get these players are starting to become healthier. You got Kyler Gordon there. Like you already have a good takeaway defense, and now you're getting healthier. Do you think that will help them going forward? I mean, the front and the back work together. Will they be able to get more pressure? Will they be able to do some more things up front? I mean, I'm curious your thoughts on that.
It should help. Like, there's no replacement for Jalen Johnson. Like, number 1 corners, the backups just aren't as good. I mean, they might be young and don't have the opportunities to be good, but it's like starting pitchers. It's just they're not you don't have them on your bench. You can try to do things, you could try to bullpen your way through the game, but you can't have that starting pitcher go 7 innings. You can't have Jalen Johnson just go cover man to man. And I truly believe in my Super Bowl experiences, you need to have the secondary. We all talk about the pass rush, but there are points where you have to be able to defend man to man down the stretch. The Chiefs have been able to do that for the years with McDuffie and Snead or whoever. Like they beat us at the Niners playing some man to man, they're crucial third downs, and they won, right? Chris Jones and them, they kind of wrecked havoc. I look at the Bucks when they won their Super Bowl. They had Carlton Davis. They had Jamel. They were able to play man to man down the stretch when the Bucks did that. Obviously, the Patriots teams, Revis and Gilmore and their rich history of the cornerback play. That's why I like their secondary right now. They can play man to man when the weather gets tight and say, "Hey, we're going to stop the run," and you're not going to be able to throw the ball downfield. It's cold weather anyway. So I do like when Jalen Johnson comes back. That's what's going to help them. Now, when some guys are hot and turn the ball over, it's hard to take that off the field. But for the ability to kind of lock up down the stretch, he's a guy that needs to be on the field.
So, how much man this is maybe like a okay. When we look at like the teams who lead the league in playing man, the percentage of man, it's like they're playing it 45% of the time. So, about half the time they're playing man. Oh, let's go with it. That's like an average, right? So you higher team, whatever. So long story short is like when you're talking about it in these later down the stretch, so from now until the end of the season, why is that man different than the man in the beginning of the season?
Well, when I look at man to man, I look at to answer that question, better to start. It's the weather. Of championships are won in the cold, right? And when the weather gets colder, Chicago gets windy. You saw some of these games. You saw the Steelers game and the Bills game. They're not able to throw the ball because of conditions. So the passing game doesn't really matter as much. It's about the running game, and the Bills took that apart. Well, the passing game becomes a short passing game, and the zone coverages don't always take away the short routes. You got to get tighter coverage. You got to get on body, man to man defense on body. So I think that's why it's so important down the stretch to have the ability to play it more when the weather gets colder and the throws get tighter and more contested. You got to get on body coverage.
Okay, so let's one sentence for the Bears to be a Super Bowl team, be able to win, have success in the playoffs in the NFC. What's one thing that you need them to do? They need to what?
Turnovers. They gotta they gotta take care of the ball in football, and they gotta continue to have the most takeaways on defense. That is their swing. If their defense can keep the takeaways, I don't think they're talented enough to beat people straight up. I think they need to have to go take the ball away possession-wise, which is the goal on both teams, and Caleb Williams gotta take care of the football. I think if they continue to win the turnover battle, they will make it further in the playoffs than anyone expected.